Hello and welcome to Granada Reports, live with the latest across the northwest.
Hello there, here's what's still to come on the programme this evening.
Colleen in the clear. The judge in the Wagatha Christie court case rules that her rival Rebecca Vardy was likely behind the leaking of private stories to the press.
Colleen Rooney largely vindicated from her detective work, and I think her position throughout the trial has been that it's one that shouldn't have been brought and should have been settled.
Exclusive access to the specialist team tasked with taking down suspected loan sharks. One mother's warning that intimidation by illegal lenders almost drove her son to suicide.
A lovely sight on the seafront, how the Isle of Man welcomed back some four-legged friends after 3 years away.
Well, almost 30 years after his death, the spirit of the late great comedian Les Dawson will live on in a brand new play starring none other than John Culshaw.
Yes, and more exclusively on Granada Reports. Look at me here, I'm like Tom Bradley with O-levels.
And after that wet start first thing this morning, there's more rain to come, unfortunately, Steve, as we head into the weekend. Bit of a messy mixture over the next few days. Full forecast a little later on.
So stay with us for all of that. First tonight, Colleen Rooney says she never wanted to go to court in the Wagatha Christie case, but she's pleased she won.
The wife of the former Manchester United footballer Wayne Rooney was sued for libel after accusing fellow footballer's wife Rebecca Vardy of leaking stories about her private life to a tabloid newspaper.
Today, a judge ruled in Mrs Rooney's favour. Legal costs are expected to total £3 million. Our top story tonight comes from Zoe Muldoon.
It was the trial that saw two footballers' wives battle it out in court in a showdown watched by millions worldwide. Colleen Rooney, wife of former Manchester United player Wayne Rooney, and Rebecca Vardy, wife of Leicester City striker Jamie Vardy. It all started back in October 2019 when Rooney turned detective and accused Vardy, or at least her Instagram account, of leaking false stories about her to the press. It's Rebecca Vardy's account, she wrote in a now infamous social media post. And from there, Wagatha Christie was born. Rooney had posted fake stories to her private Instagram account in a way that only Vardy could see. But these stories still made headlines.
People messaging me, saying nasty stuff.
Vardy said she'd suffered a huge amount of abuse as a result of the claims. She denied them all and sued Rooney for libel. What followed was a 7-day trial at the High Court. Colleen Rooney said she'd repeatedly tried to settle the case out of court, and her legal team accused Rebecca Vardy of lying under oath. In her ruling today, the judge said that it was likely that Vardy's former agent, Caroline Watt, undertook the direct act of passing information to the Sun, and that Rebecca Vardy knew of and condoned the leaking of stories.
I think from Rebecca Vardy's position, and she said this throughout, she felt she had no option but to try and vindicate herself. Now, it was always a gamble to bring a case like this. Unfortunately for her, that gamble hasn't paid off.
It's a clear-cut victory for Colleen Rooney, whose husband Wayne accompanied her at court most days. It's thought the legal costs of this case will be around £3 million, most of which Rebecca Vardy will have to pay.
Well, Zoe's here now, and has there been reaction, Zoe, from the two main players in this case?
Yes, both Colleen Rooney and Rebecca Vardy issued statements after the judgment, both, of course, very different statements. Colleen Rooney said she was pleased that the ruling went in her favour, but that she never believed the case should have ended up in court in the first place. She said it's such expense in times of hardship for so many people. The money could have been far better spent helping others. She said that all of her attempts to take the case out of court were blocked by Rebecca Vardy. She did say, though, that she wished her no ill will. Meanwhile, Rebecca Vardy said she was devastated by the judge's decision. She wasn't expecting it, and she said that the judge got it wrong. She also referenced the abuse that she'd faced since the case began, and she said, "Please, can the people who've been abusing me and my family now stop? This case is over."
Colleen's the clear winner, obviously, but is there a school of thought doing the rounds that neither's come out terribly well from this?
Yeah, Rob, clearly we're dealing with both very strong-willed and two very wealthy women who were actually once friends. Colleen was clearly angry that her personal details were ending up in the Sun newspaper, so she set up this sting operation to try and expose Rebecca Vardy, which in this case she's been proven right. She repeatedly said that the case should have been settled outside of court, so she will feel vindicated. Of course, Rebecca Vardy has taken a bit of a battering here. She's lost the case. She spent a lot of money, and in the other court, the court of social media, both women's reputations have taken a huge hit. This case has cost over £3 million, a hell of a lot of money, but it's clearly Rebecca Vardy that's the biggest loser tonight.
Zoe, thanks. A mother whose son was driven to the brink of suicide after being trapped by loan sharks is warning others not to fall victim as the cost of living crisis gets worse.
More than 1 million people are believed to be borrowing from loan sharks because they're unable to pay for basic things like food and heating.
Well, we've been given exclusive access to the England illegal money lending team. They investigate and prosecute illegal lenders. The majority of their raids are in the northwest because of the large volume of cases in Greater Manchester, Merseyside and Lancashire.
Anna Youssef has this special report.
An early morning raid on a suspected loan shark in Lancashire. Violence and intimidation are often tools of the illegal lenders' trade, so officers are prepared for anything.
It's all wedged in, it's all barricaded.
The barricades are soon breached. Minutes later, they have a suspect. This specialist team carries out around 50 raids each year, and they've never been in such demand. As the cost of living spirals, experts fear more people could be in the grip of loan sharks, facing extortionate interest rates.
So double bubble is a term that we hear often. It's basically you have £100, you'll pay back 200. You have 200, you'll pay back 400. It's, you know, the APR, you'll pay back so quickly, the APRs go into thousands. We think our average APR is around 15,000%. But we've seen it go as high as 4.5 million. I've never seen a poor loan shark. You know, some of the figures that we see, sometimes it can be £250,000 a year, to other times it's 4 or 5 million. But the key thing is that, you know, it's the tactics they use to ensure they get paid.
Investigators scour the property for evidence. They're looking for paperwork, computers and mobile phones. Officers soon find something of interest in the boot of the suspect's car and leave the house with bulging evidence bags.
The psychological impact on people who've been victims of illegal money lenders is really sad. We've seen people that have tried to commit suicide. You know, it's just dreadful the way that they take control and become. They have a power relationship over you, and that in itself erodes your quality of life.
Claire's son tried to take his own life after getting into debt with a loan shark. We're protecting her identity.
We didn't know things were seriously wrong until they were seriously wrong. He couldn't cope anymore and took an overdose.
Was he ever threatened with violence?
Yes, that's when he tried to take his life. He didn't have any money and he knew what was coming. He used to lock himself in his house and he wouldn't open the door to anyone. We thought he was suffering from anxiety. We'd have to ring to let him know we were coming round so he'd open the door. He just stayed in his house and didn't interact with people.
After Claire's son confided in her, his family grouped together to pay off the debt.
Even when you think you're out of their clutches, you're still terrified of seeing them in the street. They prey on people who are desperate, and I can only see it getting worse.
This credit union says they're dealing with a big increase in people asking for help after getting into debt with a loan shark. Many were already struggling and unable to get a loan or card from a bank.
One of the straplines we use is that loan sharks come as friends. So it's often people that other people know in the school playground, at work, in a local shop, in their family or their friends. And it can be a person who appears to understand what you're going through, comes alongside, lends you some money, and everything seems fine. And then it becomes apparent that it's not okay. Nothing is written down. It's not clear how much you have to pay back. It goes on and on. Then it can get into harassment and violence as well.
The union's helped lots of members turn their lives around by offering them legal and affordable loans. They want to bite back against the illegal lenders. But with loan sharks circling in most communities, the fear is families pushed into debt by the cost of living will be a prime target. Anna Yosef, ITV News.
And there's information about a 24-hour helpline called Stop Loan Sharks, plus details of a live chat option that's available on weekdays. It's all on our website now. Just go to itv.com/Granada.
On to this evening's other news, and appeal court judges have increased the time a triple murderer will spend behind bars. Jordan Monaghan from Blackburn killed 2 of his own children and his girlfriend. The court was asked to convert his sentence to a whole life term. Instead, it increased his minimum time before possible parole from 40 to 48 years.
Horse trams have resumed service in Douglas Bay for the first time in 3 years. The return of the firm favourite with tourists was delayed after ongoing maintenance to the promenade, but the oldest horse tramway in Britain is now back on track with a new summer schedule.
Let's see now what's still to come on the ITV News at 6:30 with Lucrezia.
The verdict is in on the War of the Wags. Rebecca Vardy loses her libel case against Colleen Rooney. 2 people are arrested in Lincolnshire over the fatal stabbing of a 9-year-old girl. We'll have the details on how the government plans to help households with soaring energy bills this autumn, and
Alex Yee of England wins the first goal.
The gold rush begins in Birmingham. We'll have the latest on the first day of the Commonwealth Games. Join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
A quizmaster who became an international hit during lockdown is now a record breaker.
Yeah, Tom Finkel from Bury made a name for himself by hosting quizzes online, attracting audiences from across the world.
He's dead good too. Last August, he and his family decided to try to break the world record for the longest online live quiz, and they've officially done it.
Plus, they managed to raise more than £7,000 for charity close to their hearts. Victoria Grimes has more.
Can you read it?
The longest online quiz live stream is 48 hours, 11 minutes, 7 seconds.
For Tom, this is an honour he's proud to share with the little girl he did it all for, his 7-year-old daughter, Sophia.
You are...
officially amazing.
You are officially amazing.
No, you are.
Oh, I love you.
How did it feel when you found out?
Oh, just completely overwhelmed, over the moon and relieved. It's been like 11 months of pure sort of strain, pressure, thinking, is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? I mean, you came to see us when we were there nearly a year ago.
How did you get through that?
Honestly, it was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. Just being sleep deprived is like something that you'll never experience unless you go through it, because your body starts shutting down, but your eyes are still awake.
What do you think about what your dad's achieved?
I think it's amazing.
Everything that we do, we do it for you. And it's why we do it, isn't it? So we can support you and other children that might need our help.
Sophia may be a bundle of energy now, but that wasn't always the case. Born with a dislocated hip, often called a floating leg, it took several surgeries at Royal Manchester Children's Hospital to get her walking. Her dad was so grateful for the help, he wanted to raise money to give something back.
I was in a full body cast and I couldn't move.
And how difficult was that?
I had to chauffeur around.
Since her surgery, she's gone from strength to strength, even acting as co-host on the quizzes with her dad.
Can you read this one for me?
Which Beatles song starts with the lyrics, "When I find myself in times of trouble"?
Do you know that song, Bob?
Oh, it's the one who got a girlfriend and she broke up the Beatles.
I think you've got serious competition here, Tom. I don't think you'll be hosting it. I think it'll be Sophia.
I'm blown away. I'm a shadow of what Sophia is superstar-wise. I couldn't do what she's done or what she's been through. She's an absolute superstar, aren't you?
Would you do it again, Tom?
No. All I got told was how much I cried. When I told her I was going to get a Guinness World Record, she went, "What for, in crying?"
Tom hasn't decided on his next challenge yet, but there's no doubt that he'll have his biggest cheerleader by his side when he does.
I love you.
And I love you, my angel.
Victoria Grimes, ITV News, Bury.
They are Sophia Finkel, funny, brave, clever.
Yeah, good at quizzes.
Oh, I'm very envious, Sophia.
World record for crying. That was very fun.
Take a bow.
Well, with England through to Sunday's Euros final, the feel-good factor around women's football is spreading. Liverpool today announced their derby with Everton in the Women's Super League will be played at Anfield in September, while the Manchester derby will be held at the Etihad in December. And with 7 City players in England's squad, the club today sent a good luck message to the team ahead of the final.
Girls, we just wanted to say we're so proud of you and everything you've done this tournament, and a big good luck for Sunday. We'll be cheering you on, and make sure you bring the trophy back.
Good luck, guys.
We wanted to do everyone proud, our families, our friends. We wanted to grow more opportunities for young girls, young boys. We wanted to grow more opportunities for women that want to work in football. We wanted to get the sport the respect that it deserves. And if you ask me, I think we've ticked all them boxes. So I think now we've earned the right for the team to go out there on Sunday, enjoy it. Hopefully there's one big tick left to do.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Well, tomorrow's Community Shield between Manchester City and Liverpool will take place at Leicester's King Power Stadium, as Wembley is hosting the Euros final between England and Germany on Sunday. Well, Reds manager Jurgen Klopp is a big fan of the women's tournament, and despite loving England, he says his heart is with his homeland for the final.
Yeah, I love women's football. It's outstanding. The quality of the tournament is insane. England is doing exceptionally well. It's a really good final. 2 intense teams face each other. As much as I love England, in this specific case, my heart is on the German side.
Well, a host of summer signings could be on show in the Community Shield, including City's new striker Erling Haaland, who this week revealed his love for Percy pigs. And while he's impressed his teammates since arriving, well, he'll have to educate them on his favourite sweets.
I thought first it's some type of bacon, to be honest, but then I found out it's like a sweet. If that helps him, you know, I'll buy him some every week. It's a privilege to have him here. The hunger to score goals is so obvious that I think it's something remarkable, you know, for someone who's still that young.
Yeah, Percy pigs are definitely not bacon. Now there's a feast of football this weekend with the Football League returning tonight as Burnley go to Huddersfield in the Championship. It'll be Vincent Kompany's first competitive game in charge of the Clarets. He's one of 7 new managers at our Football League clubs. Meanwhile, one familiar face has been back at Wigan this week. Dave Whelan took the club to the Premier League and won the FA Cup during his time as owner. Now he has a bar named in his honour at the stadium.
It makes me so proud to see that they do remember you. They do remember everything you've done. And at this place, Wigan people are so kind. They forget nothing and they forget no one. The management we've got at present, I've got to say, are very brilliant at what they're trying to do. We'll all support them. I hope the whole town gets behind and supports Wigan Athletic and all the lads who run it now.
Well, Wigan begin life back in the Championship at home to Preston. That's one of 3 North West derbies on the opening weekend of the season. Rochdale face Crewe and Barrow go to Stockport. It's a big weekend for County, who are back in the Football League for the first time in 11 years. And following their promotion from the National League, their players have now been honoured at a local curry house, as Chris Hall explains.
They had the right ingredients for promotion. Now they're ready to spice up League Two. And Stockport County fans can now order their favourite players to their table in curry form, each designed to match the personalities of players past and present.
Mine's probably the nicest, JJ's and Connor's. Well, Connor can't even eat his own curry, so...
Which was your favourite?
Probably not Will's, because he ain't got one. No,
it's the Will Collar chutney. Cheers.
While the players have trips to Salford City, Crewe and Doncaster on the menu, supporters can get their teeth into the Sarcevic Silsila and the Jennings Jalfrezi.
It's too spicy for me, so I just stuck to the rice. But I think James enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, you can't beat the Jalfrezi. If you eat all the chilies, yeah, they're all spicy.
JJ's got it. Just give him a minute.
Which have you enjoyed the most out of the ones you've tasted today?
Probably say sauces. The Sarcevic Silsila. That was really good. Yeah.
Did it suit his personality?
A bit bland,
a bit boring, yeah.
So I suppose
like stars, yeah.
Because I can't go to the games all the time, so I wanted to give the players something back. And I think some of the players need to be more healthy. That's why we've done them naming their curry so they can get more fit.
It's not just the Mike Flinney foul which brings a tear to the eye.
Thank you. It's been a long time, mate.
Their achievements have curried favour with the fans.
Good times are back. The good times are back, bud, yeah?
A downward spiral which saw them drop from the Championship to the National League North is now being reversed thanks to the investment of owner Mark Stott, who persuaded Football League players like Anthony Sarcevic to take the gamble and join a non-league club on the way up.
Yeah, I didn't see it like that when I signed for Stockport. You know, I knew what the project was here. I knew, you know, what size of the club I was coming to, and you could say it's paid off. But you know, ultimately, I came here to have success, and that's what I've done up to now. I think we've just got to, you know, be confident with the group that we've got, and we've got to go into every season believing that you can get promotion again, and I don't see why we can't do it again.
They're always up for a bit of fun, and they deserve the support they're getting now from around the town. It's been an incredible achievement to get back in the league, and it's great to see the whole community getting behind the team and the club.
That's definitely mine.
Yeah, that's yours.
Yeah.
It's got nothing about it.
He may have Cormac Cropper in the Boona banter, but the winner of Guess the Dish was Anthony Curry-Sorcevic.
The Sarcevic Silsila.
Absolutely right.
The Vanarama champions are proud of their Nanarama trophy, and they're coming back for seconds.
And finally, good luck to all those taking part in the European Cycle Speedway Championships, which are taking place at the Gin Pit in Tilsley this weekend. Speedway on bikes, one word, chaos.
Thank you very much for that food-based sports bulletin.
I'm really hungry now, actually.
Between Percy Pigs and curry, I've got a good dose of heartburn now.
I might go and have some.
Yeah.
All trophies should have naans. That's my lesson of this. That really is. Now, it's almost 30 years since the passing of the comedy genius Les Dawson, and a new show is about to go on the road, giving us an incredibly realistic portrait of the legend and the man.
Les Dawson Flying High comes courtesy of the Lancashire comic and impressionist John Culshaw. It's got the full backing of Les's widow Tracy and her daughter Charlotte.
Our entertainment correspondent Caroline Whitmore met them all at a certain coastal landmark.
Unforgettable. Thank you. I've forgotten it.
John Culshaw, we have seen you in so many different guises. You are taking on the late, great comedian Les Dawson in your new play, aren't you?
Wonderful, wonderful Les. Yes, he is someone I've wanted to portray for many years. I wanted to do this show for many, many years. It's a great honour to stand by the statue of the great man.
Oh, Tracy is even lending you
This is amazing.
his rings.
Tracy came down to watch one of our preview shows, one of the dress rehearsals, and I had a bit of jewellery on, and she said, "Oh, no, you need a bit more." And it adds to the characterisation. If you look at that sort of Lord of the Rings, special powers, you shall obey me. I remember when I first tried the costume on and put the wig on, and my padded shoulders, and just take on that sort of Dawsonian stature.
It's a brand new play called Flying High, and it celebrates the late, great Les Dawson. Do we see Sissy and Ada in there?
Yes, we do have Sissy and Ada.
With Wallace Arnold's Sunkiss package holiday intercontinental tours.
Oh, really? Did you have the shish kebabs?
From the moment we arrived.
Les was booked to perform in New York in December 1985. And Les, on the flight to New York, started to pull together some final notes for his autobiography. Tim Whitnell, the writer, thought, what a lovely way to frame the story. Aided with a bit of altitude and a few glasses of Dom Perignon.
You're from Ormskirk. The tour of the play is starting in Lancaster and it's ending in Lytham. Does that feel more special for you, being from Lancashire yourself?
Yes, exactly. To play those home games, those home shows, especially in places so important to Les and so much part of his history and heritage. People just love to remember Les.
It's fabulous, and I think, I think what I'm happy about...
We're literally flying high, aren't we?
Flying high.
Because we're so excited.
And I'm so pleased it's John Culshaw, because he's a northern comic, and he does it so beautifully.
Every time I meet you, you're full of energy, you're feeding your dad chips.
We've got to feed him some chips and gravy.
We wrap him up at winter, don't we?
Oh yeah, we put a nice little blanket on him, feed him some chips and gravy. It's good for the soul, isn't it?
From being a baby, she looked like him, her mannerisms. I remember Bob Scott saying once, how can a beautiful looking baby look like Les Dawson?
I like my dad in drag, don't I, every day? Kisses him, it says Granddad now, which is amazing, and it's so special for me. I just feel like he is my dad. He's like a mini Les, isn't he?
What do you think Les would make of this brand new play?
Don't worry about it, don't overthink it. Overthink, you'll make it stink. You'll be all right.
It's uncanny. Get down and see
Brilliant.
it.
Yeah, amazing.
Now, for the weather, here's Kerry.
Why do I need a shower? I've been out in the rain.
The faster you go, the sooner you'll be out. You'll save water too.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Hello, very good evening to you. Fairly cloudy skies across the region today, but a little drier and brighter and warmer than yesterday, and still some fantastic photos coming into the Granada.weather inbox, like this beautiful one by Ali Millard, and some crepuscular rays taken at Ramsey Bay, Isle of Man. A big thank you to Mike for sharing. Yes, there was rain this morning, but still some breaks in the cloud for some this afternoon. Rather cloudy though for the weekend, with slightly stronger winds, especially where we get any showers or rain, and it really is quite tricky as we head into the weekend. Weather fronts from the west overnight tonight through into tomorrow, and then a trailing front as we head into Sunday and Monday, and there's a bit of a question mark about how far north or south that front will go before it sits and parks for a couple of days. So in the meantime, for this evening, the best of today's weather coming through, but you can already see out in the west thicker cloud, outbreaks of showery rain pushing eastwards, some heavy pulses potentially, especially over the hills as it becomes more fragmented into the early hours towards dawn, but quite a lot of cloud around, quite mild air, not much lower than around 15 or 16, winds fairly light inland, a little fresher for the Isle of Man out in the Irish Sea. 5:21 and 9:12 are your sun times as we head into tomorrow. Not great for Saturday, a lot of cloud around, bits and pieces of rain coming and going, a few heavy pulses within those outbreaks as they spread across the region. There might be some drier and brighter interludes in between. We're certainly not cold, highs of 22 or 23, and there will be a noticeable breeze, particularly where we get the showery outbreaks. As we head through into Sunday, bit of a question mark about this front and where it will park and where it will sit, but we are expecting quite a lot of cloud around, the risk of some rain, staying fairly unsettled into the start of next week, but likely to warm up a bit.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Hello, summer. Piri sponsors ITV pollen count.
Well, the bees are still busy, but the grass pollen season is drawing to a close now, and with showers or longer spells of rain nearby over the next few days, it's either low or moderate. Have a lovely weekend. Take care. See you soon.
Thank you, Kerry. The rain's making me miss that 38-degree heat wave. Come back, all is forgiven. That is Granada Reports this Friday evening. We're back with our late bulletin after news at 10.
Good luck to the Lionesses this weekend. Let's hope they roar their way to a win. From all of the team here, thanks for watching and have a great night.
Bye-bye.